Rake and Roll, Shadows of Centris. They had finally talked him into it. It had taken a long time and a lot of badgering from all sides. It was only when he had, at the recommendation of his psychiatrist, gone to think about why he didn't like the idea of sex and whether it made sense. He'd sat down and considered for about a week. The initial rush of gross was still there, but at the same time he felt the urge, the want, the need. He had discussed it with the others, with Koa and Amadi, the closest things he had to real friends. They had then promised to help him and had set up a date. A date. Yay. Apparently everything was taken care of already and he just had to show up and try to enjoy it. So here he was, dressed like an idiot in a dusky brown suit with frilly white sleeves and a white ruffle out the front. His dress uniform had been hidden and he wasn't allowed a normal suit. The ruffles were ridiculous, made him look like some pompous, oblivious, stupid. Oh la la, you look delectable. A refined voice dripping with sheer delight rings out and he looks to the left. That is a whole lot of women. Yes, there are insect traits from the mature snicked, but it's more like someone's in a half-assed costume than an alien. A woman with break-your-back, huge knockers and hips that match as she doesn't so much walk as sway up to him. I see your views on certain matters have changed. I look forward to your lust. Inflamed. Misty deliberately rhymes as she saunters up with sheer desire seeming to royal offer. Her dress is a slinky bit of dark red silk that seems to be tied on only by a pair of strings to the other half going down her back. He can see the woman's lacy black thong and garters clearly. Her hair is a mass of golden blonde locks that move in a single enormous wave before parting, fanning out behind her shapely rear. Her biggest points of inhuman appearance, the antenna and her upper arms having blades that are decorated with jewels woven into lace that wrap around them. All in all, she's a cross between a walking porno, a Mardi Gras float, and an overly sexy Halloween outfit. Subtle is just a vocabulary word for you, isn't it? Reginald asks before he can stop himself. And sarcasm is a defense mechanism for you. I know, Misty remarks, and Reginald's on the back foot. Okay. How much did Amadi and Koa tell you? Reggie asks, wondering just how gruesome a murder he has to plan that evening. Enough. Don't you worry, I'm willing to slowly peel away what I need to so that I can ravish your wounded soul with love enough to salve your wounds, Misty announces, and Reggie just gapes before looking around. Are you mugging for the camera? Has this become a reality TV show? Am I getting punked? Reggie asks. I'm not sure what punked means, but I'm making sure your friends on this ship know that I'm here and not going to hurt you. Now, do you know what I have planned tonight? I was told to wait here in this goofy outfit and try to enjoy myself, Reggie remarks with crossed arms. Oh, wonderful. This is going to be a surprise for you then. Now, first off, we're going to have dinner. Things are very different from human standards. Your friends explained a great deal to me, and there's going to be another, or is she another 6? It's hard to tell with the Ledris. Misty muses. The Hexaform clan, right? Reggie asks. Shireen of the Hexaform clan, yes. She, along with I, Misty Jadeblade, shall be your escorts for the evening, Misty announces, and Reggie runs a hand through his hair. I, Engineer Reginald Pike of the Undaunted, accept, Reggie says, and Misty titters somewhat before reaching into her bosom and pulling out a flower that she tucks into his coat. I'm glad. This is for you, little human. I know that things are reversed from what you were raised to know, but that just means you merely need to keep pace rather than wonder what to do next, Misty explains before gently kissing Reggie on the back of the hand. Oh, okay. There is one thing I want to know before we go further, Reggie asks as a bit of a stalling tactic and to confirm to himself that yes, this is real, yes, he's doing this, and yes, he's looking forward to it. Oh? Misty asks with a purr. How is it that a woman like you isn't already in a relationship? You're certainly gorgeous, you're patient, you're courteous enough to not be given the run around by the crew of the Dauntless. You're flexible enough to change your plans to make things work better, and you're willing to work with others. From what I understand of the galaxy, you should already be not only married but have several children by now. Reggie asks, and Misty smiles widely. Darling, I'm trying to seduce you, not be seduced. Though to answer your question, the galaxy isn't as fair and balanced as it seems, and it's not balanced at all. Though many women can share a man, a great many women like to be in charge, more than there will ever be men. So those women fight and argue, and eventually one of them either submits and lives miserably, or is thrown out of the marriage if they don't simply keep fighting forever. Some enjoy the fight, but it's exhausting. I was thrown out of several marriages because, to be frank, I like to win, and I figured that with modern medicine there wasn't really a great rush to settle, so I kept pushing. Playing the long game to get the perfect prize makes sense. Were you expecting some gushing declaration about soulmates and true love and how you're my chosen la-di-da? Misty simpers as she clutches both sets of hands together and bats her eyes at him. I'd already be back on the ship with at least 2 closed bulkheads between us if you did. Reggie remarks, and Misty breaks out into helpless giggles at the mental image. That would be the smart course of action. No, a relationship. A family isn't built off a child's dreams. It's built off dreams of children. Not of what you want it to be, but what it can be. I wanted just a booty call before, but now I want to see exactly who and what you are, Reginald Pike. A man that defines the term undaunted. I want to see what we can build together, and I'm willing to bend a little for it. Shireen is willing to bend a little for it. If you're willing to bend a little, then we can begin the start of something wonderful. Misty, that I was standing out here in this silly outfit meant I was willing to try. You don't need to convince me, it's already been done. Reggie jokes as he starts to relax more around the woman. It's give and take that she wants. Not give and give, not take and take, but give and take. That's good. I like to be thorough, Misty says with a slight titter. Now, let's get going. Shireen is waiting for us, and the poor girl might worry herself into knots if we take too long. Can't have that, can we? Reggie asks, as Misty takes him by the hand and leads him to her air car. She opens the door for him, and he feels only little bit like a putz for a woman waiting on him and not the other way around. The drive is short and swift, with a few exciting moments as she brings him to a distant spire that he has never been on before. It's far more upper scale, and even as Misty lands, he can spot several groups walking around with a single figure in the middle of what seems to be a protective formation. The smallest ones are just 2 women and a man, one woman in front and the other behind. It did make a sort of sense, but was still rather odd to see. She lets him out of the car and walks with her lower right hand in his left and her right blade arm resting on his shoulder as she guides him into a restaurant. The Gilded Lily. The name churns in his head for a moment before he realizes that the name of the restaurant is a saying for dressing up something already lovely. Maybe it's appropriate, maybe it's not. He keeps his attention roaming as they enter. Red carpets, black leather, varnished hardwood, and a lot of brass masquerading as gold, likely due to some races being hard enough on the furniture that the cost had to be cut somewhere. They're led to a side room where Shireen is already waiting for them and taking up 3/4 of the table by herself. Her every body is in a different outfit, all of them styled in the same way as Misty's, but the colors and designs are a literal rainbow spectrum across all 6 Shireens and Misty, who starts the pattern with red. Though it makes her natural shimmering black hair the background that allows Misty's golden locks to stand out like a flare. "Oh my gosh," the violet Shireen begins. "You traded refined dignity for sheer cuteness," the yellow Shireen continues. "Aw." The whole collective gushes. "Oh, calm down now, girls. Girl, you're overwhelming him," Misty admonishes the excited girl. "Oh, sorry, it's just sorry. Anyways, I ordered drinks for us. You told me your favorites, and I got the hardest mixed drink on the menu for you, Reginald. I can call you Reginald, right? I mean, I haven't really had the chance to formally speak all that much, and The blue Shireen starts babbling and then trails off. It's okay. You can use my name all you like. Reggie assures her, and a couple of the faces darken and blushes, and there's a bit of a quick scramble of color as Misty titters in amusement. Whoa, 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 calm down. Just calm down. The blur of color stops dead, and 6 pairs of eyes look straight at him, goggle-eyed. You're even more nervous about this than I am, aren't you? He asks, and there's a lot of nodding from one person. Well, I mean, you're a new type of alien around in the galaxy that only looks kind of like a Tret, and you were fast and daring and agile even when you were older and weaker and hurt. Now you're something right out of ROM duels. I mean, there's always been secret male characters, but you're like a custom character right out of the games. ROM duels? Reggie asks. ROM Duels 42. I'm on the design team. It's a tournament fighting game that's designed to be cross-species compatible. Doesn't matter how many arms you got or what dimensions you think in, you can play it and you can win it. Shireen boasts with a great number of smiles. I'm on the programming team. I work on the physics engine so everything flows and jumps and bounces and moves the way it should. The series is somewhat famous, or is it infamous, for their sheer focus on the way the men move, Misty teases. Well, I mean, the way you moved was even more interesting. The sheer momentum of movement, and you just kept going. How did you do that? Shireen asks, and Reggie shrugs. Mostly instinct. When you need to move, you move. You don't think about movement or deliberate fancy tricks, you just do it. Reggie remarks, I need to get some motion trackers on you and have you run an obstacle course, the things I could learn. Are you asking me to be a model in your game? Reggie asks, and Shireen starts her stammering flurry again. Showing the galaxy how your man moves on the public market? That's a heck of a power move, Shireen. Misty teases with a sultry smile. It looks like our drinks are arriving.